your place or mine?
My place, Admiral Corbett. And you're going to drop me off. And try not to run us into the ocean, please.
Now, surely you jest. I only had but one drink.
Well, you're not driving like that. Good night, Don.
Kid? One little nightcap, huh?
You'll never make it home.
Coffee?
All right, come on. Don? You're overdoing the lecherous act. Enough is enough.
But I haven't had anything.
We'll work on it some other time. Drink your coffee and go home. We both have to be in the office at 0700.
I'm talking Tarzan and Jane, and you're talking shop.
Down, boy. Drink the nice coffee.
You know what it is? You are still hung up on Harley, right?
If I were still hung up on Harley, we wouldn't have split up. Simple as that.
Well, then, if it is as simple as that, then why don't I just spend the night?
Because you haven't been invited. And that's not going to do you any good.
Will you admit it? You are crazy about me. Now, will you come on and dance? Put this down. Come on.
Oh, Don, please.
Forget about the Navy. You want me, don't you?
Oh, you're going home in exactly 3 minutes.
Security, Lieutenant Brownell. Take it easy. We'll be right there. Harris, let's go.
I had to shoot him. I didn't have a choice.
He's dead.
Mac, you look beautiful.
Not bad for an old sea dog.
Yes, especially for one who's never been to sea. A little tight in the seat there, Commissioner.
Commander Mildred, he's been on active duty since this morning.
Oh, yeah, well, if the United States can take it for 2 weeks, I suppose I can. I'll get it.
That woman has no patriotism.
None at all.
None.
Besides, it's not that tight in the seat.
Hi. John Paul Jones will be ready any minute. You want some coffee?
Thanks, Mildred, but I don't think we have time.
Ta-da! What do you think, Charlie?
You look terrific, sir.
Thank you.
Hope you're not just saying that, Sergeant.
Well, Sally, this is it.
I'm gonna miss you.
Yeah, it's a rough war. You won't see him till tonight.
It's the idea of it, Mildred. It's a whole strange new world.
I know, 30 minutes away. He does it 2 weeks out of every year.
This is active duty, a naval base.
All right. He sits in an office behind a desk, as opposed to the other 50 weeks of the year where he sits in an office behind the desk.
There's no glamour in your soul, Mildred. Not an ounce.
We of the Broom Brigade, Commander, Commissioner, take a different view of things.
Let's go, Charlie.
Have fun.
Goodbye.
Don't take any wooden anchors, Admiral.
to think how this stuff's gonna pile up while I'm gone.
Well, why don't you do some moonlighting, sir? Drop by the office a couple of times a week.
I can't be a police commissioner and a naval officer at the same time. It's against the law.
Well, then I guess it'll have to stay piled up till you get back.
On the other hand, I don't see why we couldn't meet a couple times, have lunch. No law against old friends having a friendly chat.
Very good, sir.
Commander McMillan, reporting in.
Oh, yes, sir. Captain Stiles is out right now, but he's expecting you. If you'll just go down the corridor, second door to the left, Commander Campbell will take care of you.
Thank you.
Commander McMillan.
Yes.
I'm Petty Officer Bell. I'm going to be assisting you for the next 2 weeks.
Good morning.
May I take your bags?
Yes, thank you.
How do you like your coffee, sir?
Well, hot, strong, cream, sugar.
Okay, fine.
Commander Campbell. My name's McMillan.
The well-known police commissioner, isn't it?
Well, not for the next couple of weeks.
This must be something like hard duty for you, Commissioner. Leaving your police empire behind.
I'll survive. I take it you don't care much for police commissioners.
Oh, I don't mind police commissioners. It's JAG reserve officers I haven't much time for. Commander Campbell. Don't be ridiculous, Tybal. You're dealing with a 37-day UA. Now get your 6016R and throw him in front of a summary court-martial. You do remember some of our Navy terminology, Commander. UA?
Unauthorized absence.
Commander McMillan, Captain Stiles is back in his office. He'd like to see you if you're not busy.
Thank you. Captain.
Mac, damn good to see you. Has it been a whole year?
I was thinking the same thing, Captain. It's good to see you.
Sit down.
Thank you.
How are things on the outside?
Well, there are more good guys than there are bad guys. We're hanging in there.
Well, the same here. We get busy, we get quiet in waves. I guess it's probably tied into a full moon. Mac, these little tours of duty must be kind of dull. How would you like something challenging this time?
Well, I'd love it. I don't get much legal practice these days.
That's the spirit. I want you to handle defense counsel, second-degree murder.
You're not serious.
The defendant's name is Catherine Boone. She's a lieutenant.
You are serious.
According to the lady, a lieutenant named Donald Corbett tried to rape her. Lieutenant Boone took exception to his attitude, pulled a gun and shot him. I need you.
Well, sir, I don't mean to question your judgment, but I haven't been in front of a jury for 12 years.
Mac, I haven't got anybody else.
There's not one JAG officer available?
Got a half a dozen bright young fellas. Several of them knew the deceased. A couple of them are too green to handle a murder. What choice do I have there, Mac?
Sir, the question is, would I be any better?
You've been out of action for some time, but you've got something substantial to fall back on.
I know. My housekeeper mentioned it just this morning.
I'm not pretending you're the best man for the job. Just so happens you're the best man I've got.
Captain, excuse me. I've turned over that Article 32 on Vincent to Moore. He's going to need some help.
Oh, I'll talk to him after lunch. Have you two met?
We certainly have. Captain, you mentioned a shortage of experienced officers. It seems to me that Commander Campbell will be more than qualified.
Oh, he is more than qualified, but he's playing the other side of the fence.
Trial counsel.
Campbell's the government. You're the defense.
Commander?
You have your work cut out for you, Mac. He's one of our best. Oh, incidentally, I told Lieutenant Boone you'd be stopping by this afternoon. You'd better go over this in the meantime.
Thank you, sir.
He wouldn't go. He became mean and vicious. I couldn't believe it was the same person. He said I'd been teasing him all night and he wasn't going to stand for it any longer. Said he was going to take what he wanted. He started hitting me and tearing at my clothes. Then he slammed me back against the desk and he said if I didn't cooperate, he was going to have to get rough with me. I don't remember how it happened, but I must have reached in the drawer because suddenly the gun was in my hand. I didn't want to shoot him. I just wanted to frighten him, but he kept coming toward me, and the gun went off, and why did it happen, Commander? I didn't want it to happen. I mean, was I right? Did I have a choice?
I don't think so. But that's what we'll have to convince the court. Now, let's see. You and Lieutenant Corbett worked in supply. Became friends, but you didn't begin dating until a few weeks after your separation from your husband. Is that correct?
Right.
What was Lieutenant Corbett like?
Oh, he was warm, outgoing, uninhibited. He had a way of saying provocative things, so they didn't really sound provocative. They sounded playful, good-humored.
How did he act that night? Anything different?
Not really. He was always terribly presumptuous, not terribly subtle. He kept saying, if we're going to wind up spending the night together, why put up a fuss?
Well, how much of a fuss did you put up? I mean, was he usually physically aggressive?
In a way, he was. He kept touching me, and I kept pushing his hand away, but he didn't take Don very seriously.
Well, yes, Lieutenant, but at the risk of sounding callous, we can't build a case on Lieutenant Corbett's good nature. Now, let me tell you again, I have been out of practice for quite a few years, and you do have the right to hire a civilian attorney. You also have the right for additional counsel from the Navy or any other branch of the service.
Captain Stiles explained that to me, and I told him I wanted to have the chance to talk to you before I made up my mind. I have, if you'll take me.
Well, looks like we're stuck with each other. Lieutenant, if you will excuse me, I have about a dozen years to catch up on.
Please make it, kid. And thank you, sir.
Goodbye, kid. I can tell you. I'm apprehensive, rusty. Contrary to what people think, self-defense is not a license to kill. The law says that any potential victim must use reasonable force under the circumstances. That means that I'm going to have to prove that if she didn't kill him, she definitely would have been raped. That's going to be quite a fight. And my opponent, Mr. Campbell, is pretty sharp.
Well, I think it's fabulous. The whole thing, it's absolutely fabulous. It's the opportunity of a lifetime.
Really?
Mac, you're going to be a lawyer again. A practicing lawyer. How many nights did you toss and turn wondering whether you made the right decision in giving up law and becoming a police commissioner?
Once, when I had a ptomaine attack after the policeman's ball.
The purity of the law. You're going to be the happiest man on earth.
I like being a police commissioner.
Mac, you're going to be another Clarence Darrow. They're going to be flocking to you. You're going to be turning them away at the door.
Sally, I stand a good chance of losing this case. Right now, I'd say the odds are 20-80.
Oh, that's ridiculous. You're going to win on your closing speech alone, you know. I can see it all now. Another Emile Zola.
Well, I better get back and start writing it.
Why, aren't you coming home tonight?
No way. I've got homework till dawn.
How am I going to go to sleep without those cold feet on my back?
Maybe Mildred could help you out.
Great.
Oh, tomorrow morning I want you to contact Sergeant Enright and show him his list of people.
Jack Porter and Gina Davis. Who are they?
Potential defense witnesses. Jack Porter in particular.
Huh, he works with Naval Services, too. But he doesn't have a rank.
He's a civilian. Gina Davis is his girlfriend. The four of them were together the night of the murder.
And now they've disappeared?
Well, they're away on a camping trip for 3 weeks. I don't know where. Just give that to Enright. He'll know what to do.
All right.
You ready?
Mm-hmm.
Bell. Thank you.
Is that strong enough, sir?
At this stage, turpentine wouldn't be strong enough.
You don't need coffee, sir. You need some sleep.
What I need is an insight on Lieutenant Donald Corbett. How does the all-American boy end up trying to rape somebody?
I'd like to talk to you, Commander.
If you need me, sir, I'll be outside.
Well, you've got quite a mess on your hands. Why go through with it?
What's on your mind?
Well, let's face it, Commander. You've got a weak case. The lady invited seduction. So where's the self-defense?
That's propaganda. You talking about a plea bargain?
No. The defense looks for the deal. All I try to do is sell it to the convening authority. But if you wanted your murder charge knocked down to manslaughter, I might be willing to cooperate. All you have to do is plead guilty.
That's all?
Lady gets 5 years and a dismissal. And you're off the hook.
The lady gets 5 years in prison and gets booted out of the Navy. I get to keep my pride, and you get your case on a nice silver platter. You're generous to a fault.
I'm dealing from strength.
You're dealing from an excess of self-esteem, Commander. I'll talk to the lady. It's her decision. But if she takes my advice, the answer is no.
Suit yourself, Commander.
If you ask my advice, the answer's no.
I don't know. Maybe I should.
Sure, if you set out to murder him. But you didn't. It was self-defense.
I guess I'm just panicking.
You're just reacting to Campbell's scare tactics. It's cheap intimidation. Don't. Look, kid, I know it isn't going to be easy, but we are going to prove that Corbett attacked you without provocation and placed your life in jeopardy, okay?
That must be Harley again, Commander. Would you mind?
Hello? Oh, yes, Commander. This is Stuart McMillan, Kids Defense Counsel. Well, I'm afraid she's busy right now. Yes, of course, I'll tell her. Goodbye. I wish you'd talk to him, kid. I mean, separation or not, he's your husband. And he's concerned.
I can't talk to him or see him right now. I feel so clumsy about everything.
I'll be at my office if you need me.
Commander?
Yes? Yes?
Thanks for everything.
Bye, kid. Thank you.
I just tried again, sir. Still nobody's home.
That's a hot one. I go to court in a couple of hours. My wife's missing, not to mention my housekeeper.
Maybe they just went out shopping, something like that.
Mrs. McMillan, for one, does not rise with the dawn bell.
Commander McMillan's office. Got it, thank you. Time's confirmed, sir. Court convenes at 10:00.
Excuse me, Commissioner. Hi. Took the day off. I wouldn't miss this for the world, sir.
Charlie, what did you find out about Jack Porter?
Who? Porter?
Jack Porter. Don't you remember you were supposed to help locate Jack Porter and his girlfriend, Gina Davis, for this trial?
Sir, this is the first I've even heard about it.
Sally didn't contact you at all?
No, sir.
Oh, no. That's what happened to them. Sally and Mildred.
All rise.
The court will now come to order.
This court will now come to order. All right, Kettle, now what's this all about?
Well, the accused ran a stop sign, north end of Tompkins Bridge, Your Honor.
Mrs. Sally McMillan. How'd he plead?
Not guilty, Your Honor.
Give him the $2, sweetie.
Who's she?
She is the eyewitness to the supposed perpetration, Your Honor.
What?
She was in the car, Your Honor.
Oh.
If I may be permitted my opening statement at this time, Your Honor. A simple citizen is not on trial here, but rather the entire judicial system.
Mrs. McMillan, will you give him the $2?
The prosecution rests its entire case on the stop sign at the north end of Tompkins Bridge. Now, is that substantially correct?
Substantially.
Well, then by what tangled logic does this misguided public servant put me under arrest? There is no stop sign at the north end of Tompkins Bridge.
She's crazy, Your Honor.
Pay the fine.
I object, Your Honor. That is libel.
If it was anything, it'd be slander, Mrs. McMillan, which it isn't, because, well, because that's not what we're here for. You sure about that sign, Sheriff?
I nailed them myself last winter, Your Honor.
Well, then you did a poor job. It's not there now.
Regis, you still got that awful thing with the sawed-off muffler outside?
Yes, sir.
This court hereby appoints you a special committee to check on the sign.
Yes, sir.
You both from San Francisco?
Yes, sir.
You're a little off the beaten path.
Yes, sir.
Vacationing?
No, Your Honor, actually, we're looking for someone. Maybe you might be able to help us. It's a Mr. Jack Porter.
He's, traveling with a friend, Your Honor, if you know what I mean. Gina Davis.
I thought they were married.
You know them? Maybe you could help us find them. It's really important.
Well, sure. I mean, he was riding with the grocery store. I believe that's his Jeep out there. As a matter of fact, they're coming in right now.
Your Honor, do you think I could talk with him for a moment?
I suppose so.
Mr. Porter? Jack Porter?
Yeah.
Do you think I could talk with you for a moment?
Okay.
Hi, my name is Sally McMillan. I've been looking all over for you two. Do you know about Don Corbett?
Corbett, yeah. What about him?
He's dead. Listen, I better get back inside.
All right, we'll leave for San Francisco in the morning. Tell your husband we'll be happy to cooperate.
I know he'll appreciate it. Thank you. And thank you, Your Honor.
All right, special committee, what did you find out?
Like the lady said, Your Honor, the sheriff should have used bigger nails.
Who'd you get that?
I found it down by the riverbank, Sheriff. It looks like it fell off the post at the end of the bridge.
I'll take that.
Case dismissed.
Let's get out of here before we end up on the rock pile.
Is this the gun, Lieutenant?
It is, sir. It was lying on the floor near the body of the deceased.
Let the record note that the witness has identified government exhibit number 1. Lieutenant Brownell, let's get back to the call you received. Could you describe the accused's tone of voice over the telephone?
It was kind of a monotone, sir.
Not excited or irrational?
No, sir.
Would it be fair to describe the accused's voice as calm?
Yes, sir, it would.
No further questions. Your witness, Commander.
Lieutenant Brownell, after entering Lieutenant Boone's house that night, did you speak to her?
Yes, sir, I did.
Could you describe her tone of voice then?
That was about how she looked, sir. Kind of dazed.
Would you call it a monotone?
Yes, sir, I believe you could.
Did she slur any of her words?
No, sir.
Could you describe her voice as calm?
Yes, sir, I believe you could.
The same calm and rational voice you heard over the telephone?
Yes, sir.
And yet you describe her voice and her appearance when you spoke to her in person as dazed. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Then, in your opinion, her voice was dazed when she called you in the security office. Is that correct?
I guess so, sir.
Thank you, Lieutenant. That's all.
Hey, beautiful. How was that for neat lawyering? Oh, excuse me, miss. When I said beautiful, I didn't mean that you were beautiful. I meant that he... not that you're not. Excuse me.
Mr. Seelig, you are the manager of the Officers Club at this station?
Yes, sir, I am.
You were working at the club on the night of Lieutenant Corbett's death?
I was.
Did you see Lieutenant Corbett and Lieutenant Boone at the club that evening?
Yes, sir, they were there.
How did they act toward each other, Mr. Seelig? Casual? Indifferent?
Anything but. I mean, the way they were dancing together, real close. For my money, it was kind of embarrassing.
What else about Lieutenant Boone and Lieutenant Corbett attracted your attention, Mr. Seelig?
Well, at one point, they moved off the dance floor into this kind of dark area, and they kissed.
A fraternal kiss?
No, sir, anything but. Me, I'd call it an X-rated kiss.
A passionate kiss?
Yes, sir.
Now, Mr. Seelig, wasn't it possible that Lieutenant Corbett forced Lieutenant Boone off the dance floor? Forced his attentions on her?
No, sir. From what I could see, the lady was giving as good as she got.
And did they go beyond the kiss?
Well, no, sir, not right there, but for my money, a kiss like that in public means all the way in private.
Objection, Your Honor.
Sustained. The witness will confine himself to answering the questions.
Your witness, Commander.
Mr. Seelig, are you married?
Yes, sir.
And prior to your marriage, I presume you courted more than one young lady?
Yes, sir.
Did you ever kiss any of these young ladies?
Yes, sir.
Passionately?
Yes, sir.
X-rated?
Well, yes, sir, I guess so.
And did you have affairs with every one of these X-rated young ladies?
Objection, Your Honor. Irrelevant. The witness's premarital sexual prowess has no bearing on this case.
Your Honor, the witness has inferred that the accused's participation in a kiss constituted an invitation for seduction. I'd like to prove it otherwise.
Objection overruled.
Mr. Seelig? Did you have affairs with all these young women?
No, sir.
Well, isn't it possible, then, that the accused, along with some of your young lady friends, was willing to enter into an X-rated kiss without inviting her partner to go all the way?
I guess so.
Could you speak a little louder, sir?
I guess so.
Thank you.
You're not eating your sandwich, sir.
Yeah. I'm not very hungry.
Because of the trial? Sir, you're doing so very well. I think you're fantastic.
It's too early in the first quarter. No score, just a lot of razzle-dazzle on both sides. But they've got Namath.
Commander! Commander! Commander,
What is
your wife is on the phone.
Where is she?
She's out of town somewhere, sir. I heard the coins dropping in the machine.
Sally, where are you?
Mac, I've got the most terrific news for you.
Is Mildred with you?
Of course.
Are you all right?
We're fine.
I told you to send Enright out to look for Porter.
That's the good news. We found Jack Porter and Gina Davis. They said they're going to head back down there tomorrow.
Ah. And the bad news?
Bad news?
The bad news.
Well, I mean, if you could call a transmission bad news.
How bad?
Oh, not really that bad. The station manager says he ought to be able to have it fixed up good as new. And not really that much either.
How much?
$275.
How long?
Well, he says it shouldn't take more than a couple of days.
Where are you?
Well, we decided to take the back road. We're in the cutest little town about an hour north of San Francisco. The only trouble is that the bus doesn't leave out of here till tomorrow morning.
All right, give me the details. I'll see if I can find somebody to pick you up.
Captain Emerson, you had dinner at the Officers' Club on the night of Lieutenant Corbett's death. Is that correct?
It is.
Lieutenant Boone and the deceased, Lieutenant Corbett, were at a nearby table with another couple. Is that correct?
It is.
Sir, would you describe Lieutenant Boone's behavior that evening?
Indiscreet would be a kind word.
In your opinion, then, would you say that Lieutenant Boone exhibited a loose pattern of behavior?
I would. Her conduct was unbecoming a naval officer.
Thank you, Captain. No further questions.
Captain Emerson, you condemned Lieutenant Boone's behavior that night, yet you failed to mention Lieutenant Corbett. Now, doesn't it still take two to tango?
A man responds to a woman's signals, Commander.
You mean it couldn't be the other way around?
A naval officer would not behave that way in public unless he was incited, Commander.
Sir, Lieutenant Boone is a Navy officer.
But she's a woman.
Oh, I see what you mean. She couldn't help being a woman first and an officer second.
You want to say it that way? Yes.
Thank you, sir.
Is that it?
Oh, yes, that's it.
Friendly? They were a lot more than friendly. See, I waited on their table at the club, so I kind of had a front row seat.
Would you say that Lieutenant Boone and Lieutenant Corbett were openly affectionate?
Like a couple of puppies. Corbett's hands were roaming, and the lady wasn't putting up that much of a fight.
During the course of the evening, while you were serving drinks, Miss Farrell, did you overhear any of their conversation?
Yes, I did.
What did you overhear, Miss Farrell?
Well, at one point, I heard Lieutenant Corbett lean over and say, let's get out of here and go get a room and lock ourselves up for a couple of days.
Did you hear Lieutenant Boone's reaction?
I sure did. She said, why waste the money, Don? Why don't you just move into my place?
Thank you, Miss Farrell. Your witness, Commander.
Miss Farrell, have you ever been propositioned?
Once or twice.
Outrageously?
Well, I'm not quite sure what kind of proposition you're talking about.
Oh, the the kind of proposition you don't take seriously. For example, somebody comes into the club and suggests you could run away with him to the South Seas. You know he's married, he's joking. That kind of outrageous proposition. Sound familiar?
It sure does.
Are you insulted?
No, I'm not insulted.
Annoyed?
No.
But you do put them in their place.
Oh, it's not a question of putting them in their place. I mean, not if they're not serious to begin with.
So you go along with the joke. Someone says, hey, Terry, let's run away to a South Sea island. You answer, sure, when do we leave? Sound familiar?
It sure does.
Friendly sarcasm.
Yeah.
Miss Farrell, when Lieutenant Corbett suggested taking a room for a few days, Lieutenant Boone answered by saying, why waste the money? Why don't we move into my place? Wasn't she, in fact, responding with friendly sarcasm to an outrageous proposition?
Well, that was different. She...
Thank you, Miss Farrell. No more questions.
You better step down, Miss Farrell. The hour is late. We'll recess until tomorrow.
All rise.
See you in the morning, kid.
I saw the last few minutes, sir. You were really good. I think you got him worried.
Yeah. About as worried as a barracuda. One of these sessions is gonna move in and tear me to pieces.
Lieutenant Reese, you double dated with Lieutenant Corbett on 3 separate occasions, is that right?
That's right.
Did you ever personally observe Lieutenant Corbett make advances to the young ladies that he dated?
Well, yes.
And did you detect anything dangerous in these advances? The actions of a sexual psychopath?
Objection, Your Honor. The witness is hardly qualified to discuss the psychological aspects of Lieutenant Corbett.
Sustained.
How did the women react to Lieutenant Corbett?
They liked him.
Oh? They didn't fear for their physical well-being?
No.
Thank you, Lieutenant.
Lieutenant Reese, earlier you mentioned that you double dated with Lieutenant Corbett on 3 separate occasions. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
And was Lieutenant Corbett accompanied by the same young lady each time?
No, sir. He dated the same girl on 2 of those occasions.
2 different young ladies in all?
Yes, sir.
Did he know these young ladies well?
Pretty well, sir.
Well enough to be having affairs with them?
Objection, Your Honor. Irrelevant.
Your Honor, trial counsel himself has anticipated the defense. It is he who placed the sexual mores of the accused at issue in this trial. Would he now deny me the right to cross-examine on an issue of his making?
Overruled. The witness may answer the question.
Lieutenant Reese?
Yes, sir. I believe he was having affairs with them.
He told you as much?
Yes, sir.
Lieutenant Reese, earlier you indicated the 2 young ladies who dated Lieutenant Corbett were comfortable with him, that they in no way feared for their well-being. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
Well, Lieutenant Reese, why in the world would they be frightened of Lieutenant Corbett's sexual advances when, in fact, they already had been intimate with him?
I don't know, sir.
Thank you, Lieutenant Reese. No more questions.
May it please the court, the government now calls Joanne Nelson to the stand.
Objection, Your Honor. The defense has not received notification of this government witness.
Commander Campbell?
The government has only recently secured this witness, Your Honor. Notification of intention was forwarded to defense counsel yesterday afternoon. I can only surmise that it's been delayed in channels.
Either that or the trial counsel hoped the witness would be admitted without challenge.
Is the defense counsel calling me a liar?
That's enough, gentlemen. You will direct your remarks to the court and not to each other. In view of the circumstances, this court is adjourned until such time as the defense counsel can properly examine the witness.
All rise.
Well, he sure pulled a fast one, didn't he?
Just as annoyed at myself. I couldn't locate Joanne Nelson. Campbell did. We could talk to her.
met Don. I liked him very much. We didn't get to know each other too well, just a few months, but I had the feeling that we had a relationship and that it might develop into something even stronger. But now he's dead. I still can't believe it.
Miss Nelson, has Commander Campbell instructed you at all?
He instructed me. I'm not sure what you mean.
Well, I mean, has he discussed particular questions and possible responses from you as a witness?
Except for a few moments this morning. The only contact I've had with Commander Campbell has been by telephone, when he located me back east and asked me to return for the trial.
Well, thank you, Miss Nelson.
Well, then, you dated Lieutenant Corbett half a dozen times or more. Isn't that right, Miss Nelson?
Yes, that's right.
What did you do on these dates, Miss Nelson?
Well, we went to the movies once or twice. We had dinner out, that sort of thing.
Did you and Lieutenant Corbett have an affectionate relationship?
Well, I suppose we were normally affectionate for the amount of time we knew each other.
Held hands?
Yes.
Kissed?
Yes.
Embraced, caressed each other from time to time?
Yes.
Was Lieutenant Corbett an aggressive companion, Miss Nelson?
Well, yes, but not in a serious way.
Could you explain that?
Well, Don, Lieutenant Corbett, was the sort of person who was familiar with people right from the start. I suppose the things he said and did might have been a little, well, unsettling coming from somebody else, but coming from Don, you accepted them.
And Lieutenant Corbett, being Lieutenant Corbett, I suppose he made more than one proposition the very first night you met.
Yes, sir, he did.
Did you accept them, Miss Nelson?
No.
You didn't encourage him at all?
No.
Didn't you and Lieutenant Corbett have an affair, Miss Nelson?
No, we did not.
Why not?
Because I didn't want to.
You refused his advances?
Yes, that's correct.
Are you trying to say that he never once managed to maneuver you into a compromising situation?
No.
Miss Nelson, are you trying to tell this court that the same man who propositioned you countless times over half a dozen different evenings never once succeeded in forcing himself upon you?
No!
Well, thank you, Miss Nelson. Your witness, Commander.
No questions.
We didn't do too well on that one, did we?
Well, he can't even cross-examine her without making it worse.
Your Honor, the government rests.
Very well. I think that does it for today. Court stands in recess until 0800 tomorrow morning.
The Fresh Fish and Pizza restaurant?
Mildred thinks it's good. Speaking of Mildred, she and Sergeant Enright ought to be here pretty soon.
Oh, thank you.
Thanks.
I need this.
You look so down.
I took a beating today.
I know. Joanne Nelson.
Campbell used her like a booby trap. I saw it coming.
Oh, well, that was today. Tomorrow you start your defense. You're gonna run over him like a tank.
Some tank. How do I prove self-defense?
I seem to recall something about reasonable doubt. They're the ones that have to prove murder.
Thank you, loyal cheering section. I really must go. I'll grab a couple of sandwiches on the way.
Mac. You rat! All this going on and you remembered our anniversary.
Why, he wouldn't forget no matter how busy he was, would you, Commissioner?
That's great.
Sit. I'll take that.
I really have to be going. I'll grab
Commissioner,
a slice.
I think you better sit until this little celebration has run its course. Excuse me. Oh.
Commander Boone, you and your wife were married for 5 years prior to your separation. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Would you describe your wife as a fun-loving person? Like to go out at night, dining, dancing, parties?
Just the opposite. Kit liked her home. She liked to be home.
Would she be inclined to drink a lot?
Seldom drank at all. Had to be an occasion for Kit to take more than 1 or 2 drinks.
Could you describe your wife's character as exemplary?
Without hesitation.
What was her general reputation in the community?
I don't know anyone who had a bad word to say about Kit. She was and is an honest, decent person.
Thank you, Commander Boone. Your witness, Commander.
Commander, you and your wife have been separated for the past 2 months, is that correct?
That's correct.
What was the cause for the separation, sir?
Objection, Your Honor. The trial counsel's question exceeds the scope of direct examination.
Overruled.
Why did you and your wife separate, Commander?
We weren't getting along.
Can you be more specific?
She wanted to work to stay in the Navy. I wanted her at home.
Was this a conflict of recent development, Commander?
No. We discussed it from the time we were first married.
Mm-hmm. You work at the supply center, do you not?
I do.
As does your wife.
Yes.
Lieutenant Corbett was also assigned to supply.
Yes.
Is it true that your wife and Lieutenant Corbett worked rather closely together?
I believe so.
The chronology of the situation strikes me as interesting, Commander. For something like 5 years, you and your wife stay together, despite a conflict of interests over whether she should or should not resign from the Navy. Then 3 months ago, Lieutenant Corbett arrives at this station and is assigned to supply, where his work brings him in close contact with your wife. And then, 2 months ago, you and your wife decide to separate. Isn't it true that the developing relationship between your wife and Lieutenant Corbett contributed to that situation and separation?
That is a lie.
Is it not true, Commander Boone, that your wife had already made a romantic relationship with Lieutenant Corbett weeks before she killed him?
No!
No further questions.
Yes, sir. I've known Kit Boone for quite some time. She was different that night. Now, by that I mean, Kit is a very private person. She works on dignity. And it must have been something very special to make her act that way.
You mean something upsetting?
Yes, sir, I think so.
Would you have any idea what that might be?
Yes, sir, I think I do. I believe she was upset over her separation from Commander Boone.
But they'd already been separated for several months. Why would she pick this particular evening to be upset?
Well, I think it just finally caught up to her. Those were very rough months on Kit.
After leaving the officers' club that evening, Lieutenant Boone and Lieutenant Corbett accompanied you and Miss Davis to your home. Is that correct?
Yes.
What was her behavior at your home? Was she equally outgoing?
No, by the time we got to my place, she was fairly quiet.
Was she intoxicated?
No, sir.
What was her attitude toward Lieutenant Corbett by then?
She was cool, on top of the situation. She was back to being Kit.
And how long did they stay at your home, Mr. Porter?
Well, let's see. They went for a dip while I packed. All in all, they were at my place about an hour.
Thank you, Mr. Porter. No more questions. Your witness, Commander.
Mr. Porter, you and Miss Davis aren't married.
No.
Nonetheless, Miss Davis shares your residence with you, does she not?
Yes.
How long have you been living in this state, Mr. Porter?
Objection, Your Honor. Irrelevant.
Sustained.
Mr. Porter, wouldn't you say the nights get pretty chilly this time of year?
Yes, I would say that.
And yet your guests took a late night dip in your pool. Did they bring their ice skates?
I keep my pool heated.
Uh-huh. Then they brought along their swimsuits.
I don't think so.
Oh? Oh, well, then you and Miss Davis provided them with swimsuits. Isn't that right?
I don't believe so.
Mr. Porter, you did see Lieutenant Boone and Lieutenant Corbett in your pool, did you not?
Yes.
And they were properly attired, were they not?
I don't remember.
You don't remember?
No.
You don't remember if their clothes were soaking wet when they left your house, Mr. Porter?
No.
In actual fact, they were swimming in the nude, weren't they, Mr. Porter?
I don't know.
In actual fact, the accused thought no more of swimming in the nude with Lieutenant Corbett than she did of spending the night with him in her own home.
Objection.
Overruled.
Kit!
Kit.
Excuse us. What happened back at that pool? Were you in the nude?
Yes. But nothing happened. We took off our clothes and jumped in the pool. It doesn't mean we made love that night.
I believe you. It's just that the way it came out back there doesn't do us much good. It's gonna be all right. I saw Hardy back there. Why won't you talk to him?
I don't know. I guess I'm just not ready.
Still in love with him, aren't you? Am I in your way?
Boy, this is better than a porno movie.
What do you think of Kit Boone?
Oh, she's a lovely girl, except for that one little blight on her record. Murder.
You're not much help.
Kit Boone wouldn't hurt a fly unless provoked by an extreme case of aggravated assault.
That's absolutely right. The defendant exercised nothing more than reasonable and prudent force in protecting herself against the infliction of grievous bodily harm.
Very good. You two may take over. I'm going to take a shower.
Mildred, what are you making for breakfast?
Bacon and eggs.
Ah, that's what I smell. The bacon.
The bacon is burning.
Hello? No, I'm sorry, I can't come to the phone. He just got in the shower. Maybe I can help you. What? Hold on a second. Okay.
$1.89 a pound. You should be ashamed of yourself.
You're sure about that? Okay, well, I sure appreciate all the help you've given me. Yeah, okay, if we're ever out that way, right. Okay, bye-bye.
Who was that?
That was the caretaker at the Pleasant View Cemetery in Grinnell, Iowa.
He called you?
No, I called him. Before that, I called the record section at the base, and before that, Joanne Nelson called you, but you were in the shower and couldn't talk, so I just took it upon myself to do a little investigating.
A little investigating of what?
Well, it's really kind of strange. Joanne Nelson wanted to send some flowers to Lieutenant Corbett's grave. So she called the record section at the base and she asked where he was buried. And they told her he was buried in his hometown, Grinnell, Iowa. So when she went to send the flowers, they told her no such person was buried there. That's why she called you. She thought maybe you would know where he was buried.
Which I don't.
Well, that's what I figured. So I took it upon myself to call the record section at the base and do a little double checking.
Using my name as your authority, of course.
Oh, naturally. You know what they told me? The same Pleasant View Cemetery in the same Grinnell, Iowa.
The caretaker of said establishment you then took upon yourself to call. Long distance.
Mac, Joanne Nelson was right. Lieutenant Corbett is not buried there. You know what the caretaker said? He said he's never heard of a Corbett family living in Grinnell, Iowa. Now, he ought to know, don't you think?
Probably just a clerical error.
I think it's kind of strange, if you ask me.
Yeah.
Sorry, Commander. Can't do a thing for you without some kind of authorization.
The shipment of a body is not exactly a military secret. Now, what's the problem?
I just can't release that information without an okay from the senior medical officer, sir.
Who's away for the weekend?
Sorry, sir.
I don't know if he's a fanatic for regulations or he's hiding something.
It doesn't matter because I've got it.
What?
I've got the information you were looking for.
Huh?
Lieutenant Corbett's body was shipped to a federal cemetery in Langston, sir. Well, I just peeked at a few clipboards, that's all.
Pretty sneaky.
Hey, Mac. Sally. What's up, Mac?
I don't know how I got involved in all this, sir, but I seem to be looking for a body. Do you happen to know where Lieutenant Corbett is buried?
Some small town in Iowa, isn't it?
According to his records, yes, sir. He's not buried there.
Well, it's probably some paperwork foul up. I'm sorry I can't help you. Good to see you, Sally. Take it easy, Mac.
Fine officer. Lousy liar.
He didn't even ask you why you were looking for Lieutenant Corbett's grave.
He's covering up something. So is everybody else. Corbett was stationed in San Diego before he was stationed here. Let's go down to San Diego.
Okay. Excuse me. What'd you find out?
I checked with the base supply officer, Captain Faraday. Corbett worked for Faraday.
Ooh, that's progress.
Not really. Faraday never met Corbett.
I don't understand.
Corbett was listed on supplies personnel roster, but on detached duty status.
Detached to where?
I checked with records, I checked with personnel. They don't know a thing.
What does that mean?
It could mean that Corbett was never stationed on this base.
Well, all of this makes absolutely no sense at all.
I have one more stop to make. Are you okay here?
Sure.
What's the score?
14-3.
Oh.
Him.
Oh.
Ready?
Here it is, sir. Lieutenant Donald Corbett, 15-16 July.
Listed as a transient. Do you remember it all?
Sorry, sir, I wasn't even working here last July.
Thank you.
Sir?
Major Antonio.
How do you do?
Hi. I knew Corbett back in Hawaii, and the last I heard, he was in San Francisco. Well, you might check up there.
Don Corbett is dead.
How did it happen?
A shooting accident. How well did you know him?
Pretty well. We roomed together.
Who was he working for back in Hawaii? Major, it's important. I'm investigating his murder.
Well, I don't suppose it matters much now. Corbett was with NIS, Naval Investigative Service.
May I have a word with you, sir?
Oh, Mac, I want you to meet George Pauling. George, this is Commander McMillan.
How do you do?
How are you?
Sir, if you have a minute.
Sit down, Mac. As a matter of fact, George and I were just talking about you.
I think you might like to hear what I have to say.
George can hear anything you have to say.
Very well. I'd like to know why I've been kept in the dark about Lieutenant Corbett. Why didn't you tell me he was with the NIS?
I know that you went down to San Diego, Commander. I didn't know you'd got that far.
George is the head of the NIS here on the base, Mac.
I don't know whether I'm a rabbit or a dog, but I want an explanation.
Corbett was with the NIS, of course. We brought him down here to investigate a series of burglaries at the base over the past year. We put him in supply because someone there in supply was feeding the thieves with precise information. Bills of lading, warehousing locations, arrival dates, methods of shipment.
How did my client come into this? Is she a suspect?
One of several.
Is that why Corbett was dating her? Mm-hmm. Then you think she was working with the thieves. Found out Corbett was with the NIS and murdered him.
That's what it looks like, Commander.
But you're not sure?
Corbett contacted me a couple of days before he was killed. He said that he was zeroing in on the informer. I have to assume that he was talking about Lieutenant Boone.
Then, gentlemen, you got nothing. Unless Lieutenant Boone loses the case. Then what you'll have is somebody to squeeze. Dangle a prison sentence over her head until she tells all the people involved.
You're in the business, Commissioner. What would you do?
I'm not in that business. And right now, I'm the defense counsel. Is that why you put me up against somebody like Campbell, to make sure she'd lose?
Come on, Mac. The situation is all fouled up, but there's no conspiracy involved.
Is there another name for it?
I want to make one thing straight, Mac. Before you came on the scene, I made the usual option for Campbell. Government or defense. He chose trial counsel because he always chooses TC. And if you're pushing conspiracy, just chew on the fact that Campbell doesn't know what you know about Corbett.
I'm sorry.
Sustained. Oh, everything's all messed up around here, Mac.
NIS thinks she killed him because she was involved in the burglaries. There's also the possibility that she knew nothing of the burglaries and that she indeed killed him in self-defense. Now, how do I defend her?
Go straight down the line with her, Mac. Play it like this meeting here never took place. It's the only way.
Let me repeat that, Commander. As far as government security is concerned, this meeting never took place.
We are not supposed to mangle justice. We're supposed to preserve it. You two have your jobs. I have mine. And right now, I'm going to defend my client. If I have to repeat every word from this meeting.
Commander McMillan?
Yes?
Sir, my name is Luis Nunez. I'm the bartender here.
Yes?
Sir, I've been to trial several times. And each time I thought I should talk to you.
Go on.
Well, I was here that night, sir. And I saw something at the trial that no one mentioned.
Saw something? The night of the murder?
Yes, sir. I saw Commander Boone here in the club. He and Lieutenant Boone were having a terrible argument. He was furious, shouting at her. But she didn't say anything. She was trying not to cry. And then the commander hit his wife, sir. Very hard across the face. Lieutenant Corbett came over and tried to be a gentleman, but he was drunk. So the commander just pushed him aside and left.
Luis, would it be all right if I got back to you?
Yes, sir.
Thank you very much.
Well, did you find Captain Stiles?
I certainly did.
What'd you say about Corbett being involved with Navy intelligence?
He affirmed it. And there's a lot more.
Mac, for the first time in my life, I am more tired than I am curious. You can just tell me about it in the morning. Home, James.
Sally.
No.
Just one more stop, I promise.
No.
Then I'll tell you about the argument.
What argument?
There wasn't any argument. You must be mistaken.
Oh, kid, somebody saw the two of you. Saw Harley haul off and smack you in the mouth.
It's too complex.
Go ahead.
No, you don't know. You don't understand. It's too complicated. It's too difficult. Oh, well. I knew I'd have to tell you sooner or later, though.
Tell me what?
I lied to you. I lied to everybody. It didn't happen the way you think. After Don and I got back to the house that night, he did make a few passes, but he didn't attack me. Even if it was in his nature, he was too tired. He said he'd only had one drink, but it must have hit him pretty hard. He fell asleep on the sofa. I tried to awaken him, but it was useless. There wasn't anything else to do, so I went into my bedroom, got into my nightgown, and went to sleep. It must have been an hour or so later. I was fast asleep, and then there was a noise, like a car backfiring. When I went into the living room, Don was on the floor. He'd been shot, and a man was running out the front door. A man in a uniform, a Navy officer. It was Harley.
Why didn't you bring this out before?
Remember you said I still loved him?
Of course I do.
I do. Oh, Mac, he was so desperately jealous of Don. That's why he came to the club that night. That's why he was so furious with me. Don't you see, in a way, I am responsible for Don Corbett's death. That's why I wanted to protect Harley. He killed him for me.
So you decide to take the blame. You take off your nightgown, you put on your uniform, tear it up a little bit, mess up this living room, put fingerprints on the gun.
Don was dead. Nothing could hurt him anymore. And I thought if I cried rape, well, at least I could protect Harley.
Don't you realize you're protecting a murderer?
Yes, it was tearing me apart. That's why I couldn't face him.
Sally, I know how tired you are, but I've got to make one.
Mac. Why are we stopping?
Just waiting for the light to change.
Saw Kit. Said all the wrong things. Acted about as stupidly as a jealous husband could act.
Thank you.
I slapped her. I'm less proud of that than anything that's ever happened between us. So, I don't blame her if she doesn't want to see me anymore, if that answers your question.
Kit says there's a lot more to it than that. A lot more. She says you killed Don Corbett. She's changed her story, Commander. No rape attempt. No self-defense. She said she caught a glimpse of a man running out the door. She says it was you.
That is incredible. Why would she say something like that?
I thought you might know.
I don't know. The whole thing is an insane lie. Why would she say something like that? Why would she do that? Does she hate me that much?
According to Kit, it's the other way around. Took the blame to protect you.
Until now, suddenly she's stopped protecting me. Is that right?
She claims she can't live with it any longer.
No, it's got to be the trial. She must figure she doesn't have a chance. Came up with this wild story.
Maybe.
Now, none of this makes any sense. Kit, pulling the trigger on that thing, killing another human being. She hated that gun. Wouldn't even let me put bullets in it.
Hey.
Oh, Mac, I've got to get some sleep.
Sleep? You've been asleep for 10 hours.
That all? What are you doing here? You're supposed to be at court.
I worked out a continuance until tomorrow morning. So I want you to close those little eyes and get some rest. I'll be gone all day. Mildred will be gone all day, and the house will be nice and quiet.
What's Mildred doing?
She's out with Enright. They're doing a little job for me.
What kind of a job?
Just checking gun shops, sporting goods stores. We're splitting San Francisco between us. Well, I gotta go. I don't want you to move all day from that bed, you hear? What kept you?
Gun shops? What are we going to be looking for in gun shops?
Bullets.
Bullets? We've got a whole box of them in the dresser drawer.
Not anymore. I ate the last one this morning.
Hi.
Any luck?
Oh, no, sir. That's all bad. I was counting on you.
Well, it's been an interesting day, but what was it all about?
An idea I had.
You see, Mildred, we're trying to find anybody who might have bought .35 caliber shells.
And you couldn't find any with all the bullets they sell in this country?
35 calibers an odd size. Not very many guns use them.
Lieutenant Corbett was killed with a .35 caliber. It's a French Dardanelle.
Ariel, Sally, and Belgium.
Well, the day wasn't a total loss. I saved $500 not buying everything I tried on.
That basis, Sally had an even better day.
Yeah, Dennison's must be great. They're twice as large as anybody else.
I don't know. We didn't go to Dennison's.
Oh.
Did you cover Dennison's?
I thought it was on your list.
Not here.
Not here either.
See you back at the house.
Have you got any money?
Not a dime.
Brian Mosley. Who's Brian Mosley?
I don't know, sir. Sounds familiar, though. Brian Mosley. Wait a minute. Does the name Benny Carr mean anything to you, sir?
Sure. Small-time loser.
He's Brian Mosley. That's one of the half-dozen aliases that Benny Carr uses.
Do you think you can put your hands on him?
I think so, sir.
Let's go.
Hey, come on, come on. I don't know what you're talking about.
I'm not just talking about a parole violation, Benny.
You come on, Benny. One of those bullets killed somebody.
Now, what are you trying to pull? I never used a piece of my life.
If you didn't do it, then you better start talking.
All right. I bought these .35 calibers. Some guy I never seen before gave me $50 to pick them up. So I made me an easy 50. That's all I know.
You must be getting old, Benny. You don't even lie good.
Come on, Benny. We're waiting.
Vince Wagner. But I don't know what he used them for, I swear it.
Vince Wagner. Isn't he in the grand theft business?
The last I heard, sir.
Yeah. I got a hunch he's pretty busy these days. What about it, Benny?
How would I know? I told you.
He's been knocking off the Navy at Treasure Island, isn't that right? Sure, you know all about it. Look at the look on his face. I bet you've been in on some of those jobs.
Hey, give me a break, will you? Something for something. What do you say?
Go on.
Maybe I've been in on one job. I swear it. One job.
Something for something, Benny.
Wagner's gonna pull off another one. Tonight.
Sir, he should have been here almost an hour ago.
How reliable is that man you picked up?
Carr is very unreliable. I just hope he was scared enough to tell the truth.
It's cold enough to freeze meat in here.
Mac.
Boxes there.
All right, police, drop your guns. You're covered.
You're under arrest.
Ten more minutes and the old man's gonna blow his top.
Think he's up to something?
McMillan? I think he got smart. Took off for Alaska.
Your Honor, I'm Sally McMillan, and my husband asked me to tell you that he'll be arriving shortly, and he regrets any inconvenience to the court.
Would it be presumptuous to ask where Commander McMillan is right now?
No, Your Honor, it wouldn't be presumptuous. It's just that it might be a little bit embarrassing. He's in the men's room putting on his uniform.
My apologies, Your Honor. I've been unavoidably detained.
The next time this happens, Commander, you will be unavoidably charged with contempt. This court will come to order.
All persons present when court recessed are now present, Your Honor.
All right, Commander. You may proceed with your case.
Thank you, Your Honor. The defense calls Lieutenant Catherine Boone to the stand.
You said I wasn't going to have to testify.
Trust me.
Do you swear that the evidence you shall give in the case now in hearing is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Please give your full name, rank, organization, and armed force.
Lieutenant Catherine Boone, Naval Station, San Francisco, United States Navy.
Are you the accused in this case?
Yes, sir.
Lieutenant Boone, is it true that you and Lieutenant Corbett were alone in your house the night he was shot?
Yes, sir, that's true.
And is it also true that he was quite drunk?
Yes, sir.
So drunk that he fell asleep on the sofa in your living room?
Yes, sir.
So drunk that he never threatened you, never attacked you? In fact, the need for self-defense never arose?
Yes, sir, that's true.
And isn't it also true that you did not shoot and you did not kill Lieutenant Corbett?
Yes, sir, that's true.
What's he trying to pull?
I don't know. I think I'll just let him hang himself.
What was that all about?
I don't know. But I'm sure Mac knows what he's doing.
He does?
Commander McMillan, are you aware that your new line serves to undercut the case you've put for the defense?
Yes, Your Honor, I am. However, let me assure the court that this new line of questioning is dictated by newly found evidence and not due to the incompetence of the defense.
Very well.
Your witness, Commander.
Now, let me see if I've got this straight, Lieutenant. You are now saying that Lieutenant Corbett did not attack you on the evening in question?
Yes, sir.
Did not attack you. Does that mean that he did not intimidate you in any way?
Yes, sir. He did not.
Did not threaten you?
He did not.
You had no fear for your physical well-being?
None, sir.
And you did not shoot Lieutenant Corbett?
I did not shoot him, sir.
Then if you did shoot Lieutenant Corbett, it was not because you were defending yourself. Is that correct?
If I had shot Lieutenant Corbett, it might have been because I was defending myself. But I did not shoot him.
No further questions?
Recall Jack Porter to the stand.
Yes, I've known Commander Boone for some time.
Prior to his separation from the accused?
Yes, I've been acquainted with both Commander Boone and his wife for some years.
Mm-hmm. Mr. Porter, would you describe Commander Boone as a man with a jealous nature?
I suppose so, yes.
Subject to fits of rage?
Well, we're all subject to fits of rage on occasion.
I'm talking about Commander Boone, Mr. Porter. Is he a man subject to fits of rage?
I suppose so, yes.
Mr. Porter, did you happen to witness an argument between Commander Boone and his wife in the officers' club the night Lieutenant Corbett was shot?
Yes, I did.
In fact, wasn't it a one-sided argument? A fit of rage on the part of Commander Boone?
Yes, I suppose so.
And isn't it true that this fit of rage was caused by Commander Boone's jealousy of Lieutenant Corbett?
Yes.
And isn't it true that Commander Boone climaxed his argument by slapping his wife across the face?
Yes, that's true.
And isn't it true that Lieutenant Corbett, arriving at the end of the argument, attempted to interfere on Lieutenant Boone's behalf and was roughly shoved aside by her husband?
Yes, that's true.
Mr. Porter, if I were to tell you that Lieutenant Boone did not shoot Lieutenant Corbett, that she indeed had been lying in order to protect somebody, who do you suppose that would be?
I don't know. I'm not sure what you're getting at, Commander.
I'm getting at the fact that someone other than Lieutenant Boone murdered Lieutenant Corbett. No accident, no self-defense, just murder. Who do you suppose that would be?
I don't know.
Oh, I think you do, Mr. Porter. When Lieutenant Boone heard the shot, she rushed out of her bedroom into the living room, just in time to see the killer running out the door. A man wearing the uniform of a Navy commander. A man wearing steel-rimmed glasses. A man with a jealous nature. A man subject to fits of rage. Who do you suppose she saw?
You mean Harley Boone really killed Corbett?
That will be quite enough. Let me admonish those attending this court as spectators. If there are any further outbursts, I will clear this room.
Commander McMillan. Mr. Porter, when I asked you who you thought Lieutenant Boone was protecting, you mentioned a name. Would you repeat that name, please?
I said Harley Boone. I also said that I could not believe that he killed Corbett.
I can understand your incredulity, Mr. Porter. The fact is, Lieutenant Boone only thought she saw her husband because that's the way it looked to her. Actually, you killed him. You killed Corbett because you knew he was more than a supply officer. You knew he was an officer of the Naval Investigative Service, and you knew he was onto you. Onto the fact that you were supplying information to a ring of thieves who had been victimizing the Navy for over a year. For days, you've been waiting for the right opportunity to kill Corbett. A murder that would clearly implicate Harley Boone, the same jealous husband who created something of a scene earlier that same evening at the Officers Club. With your friend, Miss Davis, fast asleep back at your own house, You drove to Kit Boone's house and waited. Soon enough, the lights went out. And you waited some more. You knew Kit Boone well enough to remember that she kept a spare key in the mailbox. Getting in was no problem at all. Corbett wasn't a big drinker. He told Kit himself he'd only had one drink. But since you drugged the one he did have, you weren't surprised at all to find him passed out on the sofa. You went right ahead with your plans. As a gun fancier, you examined Harley Boone's souvenir pistol more than once. You knew it was still kept in the desk in the living room. You also knew it was kept empty. But that wasn't a problem either, because you brought your own bullets. All you had to do now was kill Lieutenant Corbett in his sleep. And then wait a few seconds until Kit Boone came running out and saw you leaving. Of course, Kit Boone didn't know it was you. Dressed as you were in the uniform of a Navy commander, wearing steel-framed glasses, she thought it was her husband rushing out of the house. Later, the situation took an unexpected turn, didn't it, Mr. Porter? Lieutenant Boone decided to take the blame for Corbett's death in order to protect her husband. But that didn't matter much, did it? You were still in the clear. Somebody else was on the hook.
Commander McMillan, as this is a murder trial, I've allowed you to make these accusations against Mr. Porter. However, at this time, before the witness is required to answer any questions, he must be advised of his rights.
I agree, Your Honor. Mr. Porter should be advised of his rights at the earliest opportunity, inasmuch as he's to be placed under arrest at this time. The base commanding officer has been consulted and has agreed to surrender Mr. Porter to civilian authorities.
Very well. Are such authorities present in this court?
Yes, Your Honor. I'd like to introduce to the court Sergeant Charles Enright of San Francisco Police.
With your permission, Your Honor. Jack Porter, I hereby arrest you on charges of murdering Lieutenant Donald Corbett and on charges of conspiring to grand larceny. It is my duty to tell you that anything you say at this time can be used against you in court.
Under the circumstances, I'm going to grant a continuance until such time as new information concerning this trial has been properly evaluated.
All rise.
Well, Kit? You okay? Commander Campbell,
I could have stopped you, Commander. You were so irregular on this that a second-year law student could have shot you down.
But you didn't.
Now, there seems to be some faint chance that your client is innocent.
Commander, while you may be lacking enough ability, should the city of San Francisco ever find the need for an attorney, you're hired.
Here we are, milk and cookies for our very own William Jennings Bryan.
William Jennings Bryan lost the biggest case of his career.
Well, maybe he can win on appeal.
Oh, thank you.
You know, Mac, what I've been thinking?
Never.
Kit and Harley Boone. Now that she's not on trial for murder, do you think they're going to get back together?
Harley's already moved back into the house.
Oh, that's great. There is one thing I've been meaning to ask you. That day that we went to all those gun shops all over San Francisco looking for the bullets, what were we looking for?
The killer. You see, Kit mentioned that though her gun was loaded, it had never been fired. Harley Boone said it had never been loaded, so one of them was lying.
And you thought it was Kit, right?
Well, it looked that way. And there was another cloud over her head, beside murder.
Well, yeah, they still suspected her for burglary.
Right, and as it turned out, she was lying to protect Harley. Tracking down those bullets turned out to be a lucky break. They led me to Vince Wagner, the man behind all the burglaries, and he led me to Jack Porter.
Jack Porter didn't buy the bullets because he knew his name would appear on the registration book.
Right.
How did Porter know that Corbett was involved with the NIS?
I was wondering about that myself till a couple of hours ago. Porter broke down and gave his statement. A week before Corbett was murdered, he and Kit went over to Porter's house for a Sunday afternoon barbecue. Porter was in the kitchen mixing a pitcher of sangria. The others were in the pool. The phone rang. It was Vince Wagner. He needed some information that Porter kept under lock and key in his bedroom. Just as he left the kitchen, Corbett wandered in, dripping wet. He was looking for the sangria, but then he must have noticed the phone off the hook. He probably started to hang it up, then couldn't help overhearing some of the conversation. What he overheard must have convinced him that Jack Porter was his man. Corbett took the sangria and went out to join the others. When Porter came back in the kitchen, he spotted the tracks, figured out what had happened, realized that Corbett, the new supply officer, was something else.
And that something else was the NIS. And that's why he was murdered.
Exactly.
You know, Kit Boone and Don Corbett. I know it started out because he wanted to keep an eye on Kit, but I think it was turning into something else, especially on Don's part.
You have the unfailing ability to turn everything into a soap opera. I think he was falling for it, too. Are you still here, Mildred?
Well, yeah, I haven't finished your milk and cookies yet.
Why don't you finish them downstairs?
What about you guys?
Sally and I are going to spend a little time doing what most married couples do.
Oh, we gonna watch television?
Say goodnight, Mildred.
Good night, Mildred.
Good night, Mildred.
Now.
You know, I was looking in the TV guide, and there's this great movie on. Where is it? There it is. King Kong meets Mighty Joe Young. You don't want it.
You're right, Commissioner. Your suit is back from the cleaners. I don't know why you're taking all that paperwork to Las Vegas.
It's called a working holiday.
It looks like a Pentagon papers.
It's next year's police budget, final draft.
Oh, we're getting a raise?
That'd be nice.
Well, if we are, don't blow it all at the casinos.
This time I'm not going near the tables.
Good. I like a man with a strong moral fiber.
You're looking at him.
I'm looking at a man with a tendency to lose.
You're looking at a man with a tendency to fire housekeepers.
Look, the last time you came back from Las Vegas, you were wearing a barrel. What are you going to do down there? Make a speech or something?
Dinner party.
Who's going to be there?
Donna Lindquist is going to be there.
Good. Then you won't be needing these pajamas.
We're just good friends.
We had dinner twice last week.
I have dinner with you all the time.
Well, that's different. What's she doing in Las Vegas?
Tennis tournament.
Tennis tournament?
Mm-hmm.
I knew she was rich. Where'd the tennis come from?
Lessons. A few years ago, she was third in the country. That's when she was Donna Drake.
What happened?
She stopped competing. Married Eric Lindquist.
Commissioner, you and a married lady?
Eric Lindquist died 2 years ago.
Oh, I'm glad to hear that.
You ought to be sorry.
I'm sorry. I'll get the phone.
I'll get the horn.
Commissioner McMillan's residence. Oh, hi, Lieutenant. Yeah, just a minute. Commissioner.
Oh, no, not more revisions.
For you. I'll get the horn.
Yeah, Charlie.
Just called to wish you a good trip, sir. Yes, sir. Same here. Oh, sir, by the way, do you have any last-minute instructions?
No, but you can call me if anything comes up. You do have the number, haven't you?
Yes, sir. Thank you. Try to relax a little bit, Commissioner. I know you've been knocking yourself out on that budget.
Taxi's here, you guys. Gotta run.
Have a good trip, Commissioner.
Goodbye, sir.
You know, Sergeant, it is so good to see the Commissioner back in the swing of things. After Mrs. McMillan was killed in that plane crash 8 months ago, I really never thought he was going to be himself again.
Yeah, well, he certainly seems to be okay now. Say, hasn't he been seeing somebody recently?
Yeah, Donna Drake, the tennis player. Maybe she can help his forehand.
What am I gonna do while he's gone?
Oh, relax, Sergeant. Learn to take things in stride. You'll get used to it.
You know, there were days when I practically ran...
budget.
Oh, where's the commissioner?
Why, he's not here, Chief.
I'll see if he gets these budget revisions right away.
Revisions, sir?
Final revisions.
Yes, sir. I'll take care of it right away.
Say, Enright, aren't you down in plans and personnel now?
Yes, sir. I just came by the office to say hello.
What do I do with these? I gotta catch him.
No. It's too late to catch the commissioner. You're going to have to take those revisions to Las Vegas.
Oh, no.
Oh, yes. I know this is going to foul up your whole weekend.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Keep the change.
Thank you.
Would it be possible for you to make arrangements for me to run a car during my stay here?
Yes, sir.
And, make it a good-sized car, will you?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, Commissioner.
Front. Enjoy your stay, sir.
What? Oh, thank you. Take my bags up from my room.
She's better than ever. Tennis has changed a lot, though, in 10 years. The competition is ruthless. But we're in the quarterfinals. We. Well, that's coach talk, you see. It's we when we win. It's Donna when she loses. Come on, Mac.
No, 5 minutes. I want to go to the
We've got a
roulette.
box waiting for you. The match starts in 15 minutes. You can lose your money later. Will you? Come on.
It's all over but the shouting. Come on, Donna.
Miss Drake won the first set 6 games to 4, and now leads in the second set 4 games to 3. To Miss Drake. She wins the second set 6 games to 3, having won the first set 6 games to 4.
Oh, you were beautiful. I love you.
Shabby for a husband, huh?
Oh, I knew you could do it. I'll see you in a minute.
Wow, lady, have you got it.
Is that confined to tennis?
I'd like to talk to you about that.
Better keep your mind on business. There's a lot riding on this caper.
Don't worry, Van Doren. I can handle the action.
I hope so, because if you can't handle it, you're going to be a very sorry little girl.
Who all's coming to this party?
Just a few friends.
Huh?
We'll slip away early. I've got to stop by the desk. There's a message I'm expecting.
Good. Then we can stop at the roulette table.
Absolutely not.
Just 5 minutes. 5 minutes. Oh.
Nothing at all, Miss Drake.
No message from a Mr. Van Doren?
Sorry.
Just a couple of minutes.
Absolutely not.
Commissioner!
Uh-oh. It's got to be bad news.
I'm glad I found you right away, sir.
Oh, Donna, this is Sergeant DiMaggio. Miss Donna Drake.
Hi.
How do you do, Miss Drake? Listen, I'm very sorry to intrude this way, sir, but Lieutenant Enright figured you want to see these right away. It's the final budget revisions.
Revisions?
Yes, sir.
I hope this hasn't inconvenienced you, Sergeant.
Oh, listen, don't worry about me, sir. You know, actually, I've never been in Las Vegas before.
Oh, how nice. Then you'll be spending the weekend?
Well, I was sort of hoping it would end up that way, sir.
It did. You'll find the calculator in my room next to yesterday's revisions. Here you are. And here's the key. Why don't you get started? $10. Just $10. Come on. Just a couple of... What's wrong?
I'm worried about Jeff. He should have been here by now.
Oh, I realize you're only his stepmother, which is hard to believe, but he's almost 21.
I know, but he's had no father since Eric died.
Commissioner, let's share the wealth. Come on, Donna, let's dance.
You boys will turn my head with all this attention.
This way, Miss Scarlett.
That's the old Donna. She looks like $1 million out there.
$1.5 million if you include the diamonds.
I don't think she's had them on since Eric died.
Well, they're too beautiful to be hidden in a vault. They belong where they are right now.
You, known Donna long, Mr.
Wesley.
Wesley?
Well, we're sort of related by marriage. My wife was Eric's sister. Unfortunately, she's gone too. But I guess I feel a certain responsibility for Donna.
She's lucky.
Speaking of dancing, you know what you need? You need a lifelong partner.
Like you, Randy?
Well, now that you mentioned it, look, I'm the hottest thing on the strip. I'm on the top. Why don't you take me?
Randy is so adorable.
May I?
This is fantastic.
I haven't had so much fun since my high school reunion.
You can't.
It took you long enough.
I was in the shower.
Everything on schedule?
just like clockwork.
Now you know what you're supposed to do.
Will you please stop worrying? Boy.
Telephone call, Miss Drake.
Thank you. Hello? Oh, yes, that'll be fine. My suite. See you then. Would you gentlemen excuse me?
Was that Jeff?
No,
Sounds mysterious.
just an admirer.
Sure you don't want some company?
Be right back.
Just like a dime store trinket. Here, I'll take it.
That's okay, I got it.
Mr. Van Doren, nice to see you again. Please come in. Have a seat.
Thank you.
Can I get you anything?
No, I don't care for any. Thank you very much. Ah, their beauty is exceeded only by yours, Miss Drake.
You're very kind.
Breathtaking.
You mentioned a figure.
Oh, they're superb at any cost, my dear.
Then we're in agreement.
Of course.
Good. I haven't told anybody about this, as you suggested, but I did draw up a paper between us. I'll just be a minute.
That won't be necessary, Miss Drake.
What?
Let's not waste any time. Do you recognize this?
That's Jeff's ring. Where did you get it?
In the old days, I would have brought you his finger as well, but this is much more civilized. I can assure you we won't hesitate to kill him. The diamonds, please. The diamonds.
Oh, my God. You won't hurt him.
All of them?
It's gone.
I want them all.
I don't have it. I must have left it on the table downstairs when I was taking your phone call. I'd give it to you if I had it.
Stay in the room for 15 minutes and don't call the police.
What about Jeff?
He's as good as free when I leave the hotel. Goodbye, Miss Drake. Thank you.
Now, this man, what did you say his name was?
Van Doren.
Van Doren. You'd met him before?
Yes, he came to see me in San Francisco about 2 weeks ago. Claimed to be a close friend of Eric's in Europe after the war. He seemed to know him so well. He told me charming stories about him. How could I have been so gullible? Mac, you sure they won't hurt Jeff?
No, the police are on the way. Now, did he talk about the diamonds?
Well, yeah, he did. But only casually at first. He said, Eric had once offered to sell him the diamonds, but he couldn't afford them at the time. And now everything had changed. He'd made a killing in oil or something. He still wanted to buy the diamonds. Are you sure Jeff's going to be all right?
Oh, sure. They're not going to be that stupid. Now, he offered you a fabulous price, much higher than the appraised value. Yeah. And he suggested you bring the diamonds here, while he, coincidentally, was going to be in town while you were playing in a tennis tournament.
Yes.
Boy, were you set up. I'll get it.
Jeff, thank God you're safe. I was so worried I don't care about the diamonds.
What's wrong?
The diamonds.
I gave him to that man less than an hour ago.
For ransom. They kidnapped you.
An hour ago, I was hung up with car trouble 20 miles outside of town. Nobody kidnapped me.
Miss Drake, is there anything else you can tell us about this fellow Van Doren?
I've told you all I know, Lieutenant.
Now, Mr. Drake.
Lindquist. Jeff Lindquist.
He's my stepson.
Oh? Now, you say you were driving up from Los Angeles this evening when you had some car trouble. Is that right?
Yeah, I burned out a clutch.
And your ring? You say this was stolen out of your locker at your athletic club?
Yeah, that's right.
Good evening, Lieutenant. I'm Webb Hilliard with the Continental Casualty Company. I'm in Vegas on another case. I was at the police station and thought I'd look in on this case. Obviously, it involves quite a large claim.
Miss Drake, our coach, Mr. Merrill, our stepson, and Commissioner McMillan from San Francisco.
How do you do? I'm terribly sorry about what happened, Miss Drake. I'll be needing all the facts as soon as we can put them together.
I'm sorry to say the jewels were only partially covered.
I think I'd better notify the San Francisco office as soon as possible.
For one thing, they'll have photographs and descriptions of the diamonds.
Just about to suggest that myself.
Lieutenant, what are the chances of getting the jewels back?
Well, that's hard to say.
Well, these aren't the first things stolen in Las Vegas, and they won't be the last.
Oh, up to now, our recovery rate has been pretty good.
Those diamonds are fairly well known, Lieutenant. They'd be pretty tough to fence. Whoever stole them probably intends to sit on them for a while.
Which is why we got the airport, the train station, the bus depot, and every road out of town covered, Commissioner.
Then you're on top of it, Lieutenant.
Thank you.
Well, Lieutenant, could we clear out now and let Donna get some rest?
All right.
Nice to have met you all.
I'll call you from my room.
Commissioner.
You, sir?
Oh, well, there's a little corruption in everybody, Sergeant. I could just win once in a while.
17, black.
Stay with me, Sergeant. I think you brought me luck.
Black.
Ha! You better get out while you're ahead.
No way. I'm gonna let it ride.
Black.
Commissioner.
I'm on a winning streak. Can't lose. Don't leave me.
.23, red.
I want you to take this and don't let me touch it. If I ask for it, if I beg for it, turn me down. All I have left is a little change.
Sir, maybe I better take that, too.
I want you to take this and put it in the hotel safe and get a receipt. Everything all right?
Fred's here.
So I heard. Halfway down the hall.
No, I was just leaving.
What's the matter?
He's furious with me. Said I had no right to try and sell the diamonds. They've been in the family for generations.
Why did you?
I thought you'd ask me that. Everyone assumes Eric left me a fortune.
He didn't?
He didn't. Things went pretty badly for him those last couple of years. He lost just about everything.
And, Fred doesn't know?
Well, nobody knew. Except Roland Merrill. He was executor of the estate. Anyway, I managed to pay off all the debts and hang on to the jewels. Till tonight. That's why I had to go back on the circuit. I need the money. Those jewels were all I had left.
And now all you have left is the money that the insurance company gives you.
Yes, but it isn't for me. It's for Jeff. Well, he'll be 21 in a couple of months, and he thinks he's coming into a fortune. I wanted to give him something.
You mean he doesn't know anything about your financial situation?
I couldn't tell him. He was so proud of his father, so accustomed to the life Eric provided for him.
And you keep on indulging him? New sports cars? Getting him everything he wants?
I couldn't tell him, Mac.
Oh, I think you should, Donna. Give him a chance to be the man he thought his father was.
I don't need any more advice tonight, all right?
Yeah, I guess that just about does it. Maybe I better leave.
Maybe you better.
Yeah?
Mac, I didn't want to call anybody else. Lieutenant Bodine just sent for me.
I'll be right there. We found this beside the body. Must be the murder weapon. It's been wiped, but there's some real good prints on the clip. Shouldn't be too hard to trace a custom piece like this.
You won't have to trace it, Lieutenant. Belongs to me.
What are you doing with a gun?
Normally, I keep it back home. The ranch is pretty isolated.
You brought it with you because of the gun.
Right.
Miss Drake, according to the lab report, there are no other prints on the clip except yours.
Figures. Killer never handled the clip. Just wiped the outside of the gun clean.
Miss Drake, don't you think it would save us all a lot of time and trouble if you told us what really happened?
I have told you.
We've been through this enough. Come on.
Hold it just a second. Hold it. Now, where do you think you're going?
Have you got charges?
Look, Commissioner, this investigation isn't over yet. And just so that you know where things stand, Miss Drake, I wouldn't plan on leaving Las Vegas right now.
I'm here for a tournament. You can always find me at the hotel.
Commissioner, I'd like a word with you. Now, look, Commissioner, you may be a big man in San Francisco, but in this town, you're just another tourist.
You're suspicious only of her.
Because I got 15 years on the force, and this whole thing stinks. First, there's a kidnapping. Then it turns out that isn't a kidnapping. It won't be the first time some rich kid tried to pull a scam like that.
It's been tried.
Let me tell you something else. I've seen my share of these phony jewel thefts. You know, people trying to work the insurance angle.
That's not the case here. There's not enough insurance involved.
So the lady says. That still has to be checked out. The point is, now I've got a murder on my hands involving the lady's gun. Are you beginning to get my drift, Commissioner?
You must be tired.
No,
Good. Come on, take me home.
Maybe you'd better go alone. I mean, you'll never make Center Court this afternoon without some sleep.
How noble.
Beat it before I change my mind.
We're being awfully sensible. But
I'm gonna take a walk.
Well, you're up bright and early. Yeah. It's quite a machine, isn't it? I wish somebody would buy me a toy like that.
Yeah, I guess you could say she overdoes it a little bit.
Yeah, particularly since she doesn't have that kind of money anymore. You know there wasn't much left of the estate after the debts were settled. Yeah, I'm trying to help, but, well...
Can I give you a hand?
No, that's all right. That's why I encouraged Donna to get back on the circuit. One of these days, I've been meaning to solder this thing back together for Donna. But I just have to find the time. Oh, by the way, anything new with the police?
Yeah, they found the man who stole the diamonds.
Well, that's fast work. Did they get the diamonds?
No. He was dead when they found him. No diamonds. He was shot with Donna's gun.
Donna's gun?
It was in her room. Somebody stole it. Shot the thief with it. Sergeant, don't you know what time it is?
Oh, hi, Commissioner. No, sir. My watch stopped. It's on my stomach. All I know is I'm $700 ahead.
700?
You playing, sir?
You bet. Let me have the money.
No, sir, I'm sorry.
Did you hear what I said? I said, let me have the money.
Sir, don't you remember you told me not to let you have it?
I know. Forget all that. I changed my mind. Give me.
Sorry, sir.
I'm giving you new orders. Don't you understand?
Yes, sir. I understand. Not a penny.
All right. Forget all that. $50.
No, sir.
25.
Nope.
10, and that's as low as I'll go.
Nothing, sir. 0, and that's as high as I'll go.
Sir, you're bothering the player. Please?
No, just a minute. This gentleman and I. Come on, get me.
Come on, buddy. You heard what the guy said. If you're gonna panhandle, why don't you do it someplace else, all right?
Hi. What's the latest from the fuzz?
Hello, Jeff.
Mac, did you hear about Betsy Stouffer?
No.
She's down with the flu.
Oh?
And we're in the quarterfinals.
Oh, congratulations. Oh, yeah. We.
Poor Betsy, as rotten as I feel, even with her 102 degrees fever, she'd have slaughtered me.
Donna, I'm going to check in with the committee. Now, I want you to relax for about an hour, and then I want you to work out. You got it?
Got it.
Anybody eating this?
Saw you come in this morning, Jeff. At 7 o'clock. Where were you?
Couldn't sleep, I guess. I drove around.
Drove around. Thought you said you burned out a clutch.
Yeah, I gun it a little. So what?
The bolts in the clutch plate haven't been touched. That's so what? You're lying.
Mac, what are you doing?
I asked you a question.
Okay, what's the big deal? I met this girl back in L.A., except she works here in Vegas. So I came down a little earlier to see her, that's all.
Is that why you pretended to have car trouble?
Well, sure. I didn't want to hurt your feelings, Donna. I knew you were expecting me earlier.
Is that where you were last night, too?
I went over to see her. She wasn't there. I waited around. She never showed up.
What about the signet ring, Jeff?
Guess I left it at Cindy's.
You were used. Your girlfriend is in on it. Give me her name and address.
According to a neighbor, she left with her suitcase last night, which means she has no intention of returning. Now, I think it's fairly obvious that Cindy Walker was hired to keep Jeff Lindquist busy while Van Doren did his number with the diamonds and faked the kidnapping.
Now, that's an interesting theory. But what do you know about Jeff Lindquist, Commissioner?
Evidently not as much as you.
Jefferson Lindquist, bad checks, car theft. Look, I won't bore you with all of it, but no convictions. Looks like his stepmother was able to smooth things over.
Did you run a fingerprint check on Van Doren? And is Van Doren his real name?
His real name is Cecil Kaufman. Wanted in New York for embezzlement. Served time in Illinois for forgery.
Any known associates?
We went to his apartment this morning. We found this. Now, that's a pretty cozy little group, Commissioner. Jeff Lindquist, Van Doren, and what has got to be Cindy Walker.
Here. Don't tell me. You're here for the housekeepers' convention.
Not even that important. Oh, Commissioner, if I'm interrupting anything, like maybe you might have somebody in the room, a beautiful girl, plays tennis, you know, I can come back.
Sergeant DiMaggio is neither beautiful, nor does he play tennis. Won't you come in?
Yep, you're right. He is the only one here. Oh, no offense, Sergeant. Message to Garcia from, Chief Paulson.
More revisions.
Finals.
And I suppose you volunteered to come down here.
Of course.
At the city's expense, too.
Of course. Well, why should everybody else be in Las Vegas over the weekend?
Oh, of course.
Sure. How's tennis?
Agatha, out.
Did they have a fight?
Oh, no. There's been a little excitement. A robbery, kidnapping, murder.
Ooh. Don't leave out a thing.
All right, let's get down to the nitty-gritty. Let's talk about this thing for a change. Now, I am not young. I am not handsome. I'm a little paunchy. Great personality. And remember what I said, I'm on top. Give you anything you want. Got plenty of money. And you know what's most important of all? I care about you, Donna. I really do.
Randy, you're sweet. Beneath that tough facade
is a tower of weak. Yeah.
Randy, you understand.
Oh, sure, I understand. But that doesn't mean I'm gonna stop trying.
You're really something, Randy, and you've been real nice to me.
Oh. What?
Hi.
Oh, hi. Sit down, have some coffee.
Hope I'm not intruding.
Oh, no, just making the lady laugh a little bit, breaking her up with bits and pieces, proposing. Nothing I couldn't do later. Sit down. Be my guest, Commissioner. I have an 8 o'clock show. Later.
Poor Randy. He's really a very decent guy. You know, he pulled a lot of strings to get me into this tournament.
He's also in love with you. Not that I blame him. Double martini on the rocks, please.
What is it, Mac?
Jeff. Had a few scrapes with the police, didn't he?
Not the sort of thing a family brags about.
There's something else. Did you know that Jeff and his girlfriend knew Van Doren?
Must be an explanation.
Donna, did Jeff know you had your gun with you?
Mac, you can't suspect him.
Take a look at it. First, he arrives late, which sets you up for a fake kidnapping. Then the police find a photograph with Jeff, Cindy Walker, and Van Doren. Then Van Doren is killed with your gun, while Jeff is driving around.
I don't believe it.
I don't either. I think he's been set up. But if he was, somebody's done an awfully good job.
I know Jeff. He'd never do anything to hurt me. Mac, help him.
I'll do all I can. Bodine.
And this was going to be our special weekend.
The tennis was exciting.
The weekend's not over yet. Gotta run.
Care to tell us what happened, Commissioner?
I came in here looking for Miss Drake. She wasn't here. The bottom drawer was open, and then somebody threw me in the closet and locked the door.
Somebody threw you in the closet and locked the door.
Anything missing, Miss Drake?
I don't know. I haven't looked.
Commissioner, you said there was a drawer open.
Yeah, on the bottom right.
Bottom on the right. Oh. What have we here? Are these yours, Miss Drake?
Well, yes, but where'd they come from?
Well, considering the experience the commissioner had with the closet, I don't imagine he put them there.
That's a gratifying conclusion, Lieutenant.
Or maybe they were there all along.
Could be, Lieutenant. Nobody searched this room last night.
Or it could be the commissioner surprised somebody in the act of planting them.
There's another possible explanation, Lieutenant.
Oh, really? You care to give us the benefit of your, expertise?
Yeah. Maybe they're fakes. They haven't checked out.
Don't worry, Commissioner. I intend to do just that. Meanwhile, do you mind if I take these along, Miss Drake? I'll see that you get a receipt.
Go right ahead.
Gentlemen?
Good night.
Commissioner?
I'll talk to you tomorrow.
My, we look bright-eyed this morning. Did we have a big night?
We are much too nosy, and we should learn to mind our own business.
Well, I just thought...
Agatha,
How about a little advance? Say 50?
planning on feeding the slots this morning?
Who, me? Don't be silly. I just want to get my hair done.
Mm-hmm. Sorry.
Aw, come on. What about your mad money?
I forgot all about that.
Not much, but I'll take
Hey,
it.
wait a minute.
No, it's fine.
You can't.
You weren't thinking of gambling.
Me?
Good. Now, all I have to do is just find myself a good hairdresser.
You'll find the quarter slots on the other side of the bar.
Commissioner McMillan. They're calling you, Commissioner.
Yes, this is Commissioner McMillan. Yes, put him on, please. Yeah? Well, I'll see if I can find her and bring her right over.
We've done some checking on Cindy Walker. Apparently, she was on a plane to Los Angeles at the time of the murder.
Is that why you called us down here?
Well, like you suggested, Commissioner, we checked out the jewels. They're fakes, Miss Drake. They're all made out of paste.
Why didn't you tell me they were fakes?
Wait a minute. Let's get something straight. They weren't fakes.
And you don't know anything about it?
No.
Somebody made those copies, Donna. Somebody had access to the real diamonds. How are you doing?
Oh. I should have had my hair done.
That's what I want to talk to you about. What do you think of this hairdo?
Very pretty.
That's exactly what I think. Good relationship with her hairdresser, wouldn't you think?
2 or 3 times a week. What's up, Commissioner?
Well, the police think she's back in town, and they can't get a line on her. How about checking out the beauty shops?
Okay. Oh, but I'll need a little more money, Commissioner.
You'll have to get that from DiMaggio. Tell him I said to give you 20.
20?
50.
Okay. Come on.
This is Cindy. I was in LA, but I caught the headlines. You didn't tell me there was a $500,000 diamonds going down. Well, I only got $1,000 for this deal. I figured 10 grand is a little more like it. Yeah, well, I thought you'd see it my way. No, I don't want to meet you at your place. I don't want to meet you at all. Van Doren made that mistake. Listen, you just leave my money at the Hotel Penguin. At the desk. In my name.
Got your information, Commissioner. The big jewelry outfits are all closed over the weekend, so I located another expert. Benny Musgrove.
Who?
You remember? Benny the Iceman. Right. Well, he's on parole now, sir, but he's working with an insurance firm as a consultant.
Benny? Long time.
Hi, Commissioner. There are several top people around that do excellent base copy work with jewelry.
Uh-huh.
Due to the high cost of insurance these days, people often lock up the real stuff in a vault.
Uh-huh.
And wear the fakes. Jewelry is frequently copied for this purpose.
I see. And how long would that take?
That quality ice? It'd take weeks to duplicate them, Commissioner.
And of course, they'd need the originals to work from, wouldn't they?
Absolutely.
Okay, thanks, Benny. Sorry to mess up your weekend, Charlie.
Oh, that's okay, Commissioner. How's DiMaggio doing?
Oh, fine. He's very good at numbers.
On the budget?
At the tables. Bye.
Goodbye, sir.
Doesn't make any sense. Oh.
You did put that earring in the hotel safe, didn't you?
Of course.
Remarkable piece of work. Unusually fine craftsmanship.
But is it genuine?
But of course.
Hi.
I thought you might like to hear some good news.
I sure would.
The earring you left on the table is genuine.
That isn't news.
It is to me.
Thanks for the vote of confidence.
Donna, I never doubted you for a minute.
Because you knew I couldn't lie to you?
No. Because it would be awfully dumb for the owner of the diamonds to plant fakes in her own room. And lady, you ain't dumb.
I'm not sure how I came out on that.
Just fine.
Is Commissioner McMillan there?
It's for me. Hello.
I hope I didn't interrupt anything.
How did you know where I was?
Where else would you be?
No, Agatha, you didn't interrupt a thing.
Not only did I find Cindy's hairdresser, but I found Cindy. She was getting her hair done. I followed to the Penguin Hotel. That's where I am now, in the lobby.
I'll be right there.
I'm expecting a package. Cindy Walker?
You want a room?
Do you have anything for me?
Cindy.
Walker. Thanks.
Hey, kid. Didn't you work this hotel about a year ago?
Hey, buddy, I'm supposed to meet a guy here. His name's McMillan.
How long you need the room?
Oh, wait a minute. You don't understand. You see, he's tall, dark, and handsome. When he gets here, tell him that Agatha had to leave.
What did you do, hypnotize him?
How'd you like a punch in the nose?
Agatha, where is she?
She just went out that way.
How did she do it?
That was smart, Cindy. Using a drop. Not that it's gonna do you any good.
No! Don't, please let me go. Please, just let me go. No!
I'll call the police. Honey, I think you're gonna be all right, sweetheart. Don't move.
Six, I think.
You're no more an insurance investigator than I am. Cindy's alive, Hilliard. She's gonna talk.
By that time, I'll be 5,000 miles away.
With what? Where are the jewels? Who's your partner, Hilliard? He's got the jewels, hasn't he?
That's real good, Commissioner. But as soon as they're fenced, I'll get my cut.
Throw down the gun. Throw down the gun. Put up your hands and don't move. Wait!
Well, Commissioner, looks like it was Hilliard that wasted Van Doren.
He as much as admitted it.
I guess that wraps it up, right?
Not quite. He told me he was working with somebody else.
Did he say who?
He was just about to tell me when you shot him.
So what you're suggesting is that even I'm not above suspicion, is that right?
I like to keep an open mind.
Now look, Commissioner, we've had our differences, but consider this. If I was the one, if it was me, I would have killed you and not Van Doren. And believe me, it would have been easy.
Fair enough.
You know, I figured you for a paper jockey, Commissioner, but you got real class. Now what do you say we stop bumping heads, huh? I could use some help.
Let's go talk to Cindy. Another dead end. Hey, did you believe her when she said her only contact was Hilliard?
Look, there's no reason for her to lie now. No, Commissioner, what it adds up to is this. Even if she knows there is another accomplice, she doesn't know who it is.
Mm-hmm. Maybe we'll have to smoke him out.
Donna, will you stop pacing? You're making me nervous. Have something to eat.
Oh, will you leave her alone? Now remember, Donna, you gotta go to the net, huh? The baseline is her game, all right?
For luck, hon.
Fred, thank you. Lovely.
It's okay. What are you trying to do? Give a hay fever?
Mac, what happened? I didn't think you'd make it.
Well, we had a little excitement. Seems Hilliard was the one who killed Van Doren.
They caught him?
Yeah, he put up a hell of a fight. Lieutenant Bodine had to shoot him.
Is he dead?
Fortunately not. He's in emergency surgery now.
What about the jewels?
They still haven't showed up, but I'm sure they will. Seems Hilliard had a partner. As soon as he gets out of surgery, he's gonna talk. I mean, he's certainly not gonna take the rap alone.
I hope you get the diamonds back, Donna. But if you don't, we'll still get by.
I'm gonna win today. For a lot of reasons.
This is so exciting. How many innings do they get?
I don't know. Depends on how many golf bats they use.
Where's Sergeant DiMaggio?
Advantage, Miss Drake.
Wait a minute. You're gonna miss the big finish.
I'll be back.
You're not watching the match, Roland?
Oh, it's too much tension, I guess.
It's funny. I always thought you were the coolest. You knew exactly what to do when Eric Lindquist died.
What are you talking about?
I'm talking about the executor of Eric's estate. You're the only one beside Donna who had access to the jewels. And you had them copied, didn't you?
That's utter nonsense. You're being ridiculous, Mac.
Of course it was you. You're the only one who knew enough about Jeff to manipulate him.
Are you through?
Hilliard's gonna talk. You know that, don't you?
Roland.
Roland Merrill. Except I don't think he intended for it to go as far as it did. Hilliard was the one who engineered the thing.
And he's the one that planted the fakes up in Donna's room.
And killed Van Doren. The fakes were planted to pull the police off the trail.
Sure, the fake jewels pointed to me.
It's like the fake kidnapping.
One thing you haven't explained, Commissioner, where are the real diamonds?
In a perfect hiding place. Would you care to open?
How'd you get him in there?
Through the bottom of the can.
Through the bottom?
I noticed a soldering iron in the trunk of Merrill's car yesterday. Didn't pay much attention to it at the time. He said he was going to repair a trophy. And just a little while ago, it hit me. The trophy is made of stainless steel. You can't solder stainless steel. So the soldering iron had to be used for something else.
Yeah, like hiding a fortune in diamonds.
He almost had a good racket going. A tennis racket.
That was a great weekend. We ought to do this again sometime.
DiMaggio.
What? Oh, the money. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Right here, down to the last cent, except for the 100 that I gave to Agatha.
100? I said 50.
Is that what you said? I never could get numbers straight.
You will when you get your next paycheck.
Why don't you just slip it in your new budget?
Bye.
Aren't you coming?
Tomorrow morning.
What? The money, you lose it.
Too busy to gamble.
Doing what?
Tennis lessons.
At night?
Shut up, Sergeant.
Hey, whoa!